up on the rack, waiting for the third time for a motor to come in now, as well as for new tires. Got the old motor right here. Had some lower end knock going on, unfortunately. All the cooling. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Sam, and I'm just gonna give a quick update on the condition with Ghost. So, as some of you may know, about 3-4 months ago when I first moved out of the apartment I'd been living in, I had not actually had Ghost for a little bit. Ghost, of course, is my Genesis Coupe, parked right here. So the issue was it had developed a lower end rod knock, not under any fault of my own. Previous owner had apparently abused it and not actually maintained it properly. And I mean, I've only had it for about 5.5 months at the time, and I used it primarily just to commute. I hadn't gotten to put it on autocross. I hadn't gotten to put it in drag racing, anything like that. But it ended up going into the shop at one point. I brought it back, brought it to a shop again where I work over at Toyota. And after that, I took it back briefly. They said pretty much don't bring it back until it's got more of a noise it's making. And it was very audibly a noise from the engine. So I listened to them, I brought it back. I had it for about a week. And then, like clockwork, the worst noises that it ever made had come in. And I took it for a test drive with the head mechanic, and he said beat on it a little bit during the test drive and it got worse. So I only, as of I think Friday or Saturday, have had Ghost back at the house here with all the Audis and everything. Does work perfectly fine now. We did have to get an entire new motor, and the reason it took me literally 3 months to get this car back up and running, meaning why I didn't have it when I went to Amelia Island, why I didn't have it to pretty much do anything recently, it was the first motor that got ordered was for the sedan. Now, normally that wouldn't be an issue to a lot of people. It's the same 3.8, but it's mounted a different direction, as well as being down about 30 to 40 horsepower from what my motor is supposed to be. So of course that didn't fit. So it was sent back. And that was one that I'd actually talked to the warranty company about, and they had said, oh yeah, well, we're just going to order this motor. I said, you have to make sure that it is the one for a coupe. But after that, the second motor got dropped in transit and was damaged. So it took a third motor that cost extra money to get fixed, brought in, have everything up to date on it, and then put back in the car. Of course, you know, had to have all the testing and everything to make sure it was up to standard. But Ghost is finally back at the house. Now, I'm not going to do anything for a bit on it. Obviously, I'm going to baby it because I can't afford it if it goes again. The warranty has already been used, essentially. I still have a bit of warranty. I have a warranty on the motor now as well. So, God forbid something does happen, that motor will have to get fixed, or will have some type of monetary value included to replace it, which at that time, I'm going to be honest, I'm just LS swapping it. Can do that relatively cheap in the Genesis Coupes, but the car is back. I have new rear tires on it. I got it fully aligned. The steering wheel is still a tiny bit off center, so I'm going to, if I can, try to adjust that, move it over one tooth on it. But for the most part, other than being very, very dirty at this point, Ghost is back up and fully operational, other than, say, like a bulb out on the interior. So the next steps on this car, other than washing it, because you can see how dirty it is, the next steps, I have some aero pieces that I'm going to be putting on the rear that I bought literally probably about 5 months ago, and I simply wasn't able to get underneath the car to get it done. After that, wheels, which will be eventually, now that I bought new rear tires, I'm not intending to just swap them out immediately, unless I'm able to take the tires off the wheels I have, throw them on something else, but I'm not even sure what yet. Going to update the taillights, probably go with Anza or Spec D. I'm not exactly certain which one yet. It's going to realistically come down to location and price point for me, because I will buy them used most likely. Save, you know, $200 doing it that way, especially with how financial stuff is currently. But after that, realistically, the car is pretty close to done. I'll be putting a splitter on at some point in the near future, as well as a diffuser most likely. But the car is set up very well. It handles really well, and especially now that it's got proper tires, it tracks properly. I don't get any real slippage. But thankfully now, after 3 months, Ghost is back at the garage. Now I'm going to be taking it to a couple different shows, possibly in the next week or two. I know that there's 2 that I might go to this weekend, including after I get off work. Since like I said, I now, and have been for about 6 months, been working as a salesperson at a Toyota dealership here. But I will most likely in the next month or so be putting this car to a few different events, trying to save up to do that road rally I had mentioned prior at one point out in Tennessee. But until then, this has been a pretty solid update. I'm glad I have this car back. I got tired of driving little commercial cars or little beater cars. I had 2 different rentals, Jettas and Corollas, and that's all I had the whole time. So it's nice having something over 200 horsepower again. And luckily, Illustri, the B5 Audi S4 my roommate has, is back up and operational again too. There is a torque converter issue going on, as well as it kind of slipping 1,000 RPM. But we have fixed the damaged transmission pan. We've done all the new wiring to set it up right. So thankfully, the cars are all starting to come back together. So I will see y'all in the next video. Just keep you posted about any upcoming projects. But until then, have a good one. Bye-bye.